part two. I just ran and took a quick poop real quick. The coffee came through me, y'all. It came through me real fast. So yes, that's what happens when you got the coffee, you got the hydro flush, all that stuff, okay? Good vitamins and minerals equals a good gut system, okay? And so listen, it's been a minute since we've had Chad, my bankruptcy lawyer, on our platform. You guys see him every day because we are always running his ads because he is out here doing the right thing, all right? Now, I know a lot of creditors pay a lot of money to tell you, please pay this money, okay? But in Chad's business, you don't have to, okay? And so without further ado, I give you Chad Van Horn for the Van Horn Law Group. How you doing, Chad?
I am so happy to be back. It's been weeks. I've been traveling. I've been missing you. I've been missing the winos, but I am happy to be back with you.
Oh, we happy to have you. Lost some weight too?
Down 30 pounds. I've been working out a little bit too. Thanks for noticing.
You on that Ozempic. Stop playing.
Oh, yeah. Well, that helps too.
Listen. We got people already waiting backstage, okay? And so if they're not familiar with this show, they get to ask you anything in reference to their finances, how you can fix their finances, maybe laws and stuff that they're not familiar with when it comes to financial laws, businesses, keeping their homes, anything of such, okay? And so you're here directly live from South Florida, from your South Florida office, the Van Horn Law Group.
I'm in Fort Lauderdale now, going to Pittsburgh in 2 weeks for the Pittsburgh office. And we're looking at a couple other locations. So I'm here to answer all your questions.
I love it. Don't forget, guys, Van Horn Law Group. We need to put his phone number up too, please, throughout this live. Can we get that, Shaq, real quick, or Jasmine, can you handle it? Shaq, real quick, in-house production. We need a template with Chad's phone number on it so the winos can get his phone number and Jasmine can pop it up during the live while we're doing this Q&A with him. Okay. All right, thank you. So Shaq has got that on the way, so we're able to queue stuff up real fast, all right? And so we got callers waiting backstage. You can also ask your questions in the chat, okay? And then if you guys want some extra privacy, you can email me, unwinewithtashak@gmail.com. They're coming right to my phone, and I'll ask Chad directly, the same way we do with our happy hour. You ready, Chad?
Let's get it.
All right, who's first? Ashika, how you doing? Unmute yourself.
I'm good.
Ashika.
How are you?
Fantastic. Where you calling from?
Virginia.
Okay, shout out to Virginia. All right, cool. What is your question for Chad?
My question is about student loans and just overall, bringing all of your debt together in one. Like, how does that process work? If you haven't paid on your student loan, I guess, I don't know, in a matter of 6 months or so, how can this be removed or either used as something where you can pay back but not so much, or file bankruptcy? I guess I have a lot of questions all in one, if that makes sense.
Go ahead. I think he gets the gist of them, though. Chad, turn up your volume as well, too. You're a little low. Go ahead.
My mic's a little low?
Yeah, your mic's a little low. We got to hear everything you're saying.
All right, I'll work on that. But can you hear me now?
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Right, can you hear him? What's her name again?
Ashika.
Can you hear Chad?
I can hear him. Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. All right, Chad, go ahead, shoot.
All right, Ashika. Well, first off, for the student loans, they're a little tricky. Do you know if your student loans are federal or private?
I'm gonna have to find that out.
Okay, so most likely they're federal student loans. That's about 80% of the student loans, and it's been a mess recently. So what I'd recommend doing is reaching out to your student loan company and looking at an income-based repayment program. Those still are alive and well, even though they made it a little more difficult over the past year when the administration's changed. Everything's been in litigation. Everything's been paused. There are ways to discharge student loans in bankruptcy as well. It's through something called an adversary proceeding, where you actually file a lawsuit against the student loan company to discharge those student loans. So I would recommend speaking to a bankruptcy attorney in Virginia, and we definitely could hook you up with one there. And that's going to be the one that can either discharge it completely, make it go away, or through a Chapter 13, we can get you into a repayment plan based on what you could afford to pay on a monthly basis. So you don't have to worry about all the collections, the negative reporting, and everything out there. And that's more of a forced consolidation where you're going to make that one payment to a trustee, and that's going to take care of all of the debt.
Okay, perfect. How can I get your information so you can forward me to somebody here in Virginia?
Tasha, give them the website.
All right, Chad Van Horn. Oh no, you got a new website.
We got a new website.
Yes, hold on for a second. Your marketing team sent it over to me, and I'm bad at that. I think it's the Van Horn. No, damn it, this is bad. I'm so used to saying VanHornLawGroup.com.
So you
But
can still,
hold on, what's the website, y'all?
we can still go to vanhornlawgroup.com right now. If you go there, you'll be able to get in contact directly with me. I'll vet your situation and get you to an attorney in Virginia.
One thing I wanted to add too, Chad, is that you can do debt consolidation for them as well too.
So with the private student loans, you can. With the federal, you got to be really careful because you can consolidate all of your federal student loans into a direct loan and then work on the repayment programs that the government allow. But that's changing basically daily. So if it's a federal student loan, you want to consolidate with the government and then get into one of their payment plans. But you also want to look to see if those can be discharged because we've had extreme success discharging through Chapter 7 bankruptcy if you have a true hardship out there, which unfortunately a lot of us have hardships right now.
Okay.
Okay.
And I was right. It's VanHornLawGroup.com. You tricked me. Whatever. It's cool. I'm like, huh? What? Hey, wait. Look, I swear to God. I was like, I know my PR materials. Don't play with me. Okay, yes. All right. And you can reach out to Chad directly and he will forward you to a good bankruptcy attorney that he works with, okay?
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Who's next? Dr. Danny. Where you calling from, Dr. Danny?
I'm calling from California.
All right, shout out to California. Everybody going through it in California right now, child.
Well, that's why I want to piggyback on the last person because as a doctor, I have house note worth of student loans. And I've already gone through the IBR process. And so I've consolidated, but I just went through a health crisis. Found out that I had coronary heart disease, had a stent put in. So I'm trying to do two things. One, I'm trying to find out about permanent long-term disability because part of the process out here in California is I can't work without my EPPP licensing, right? And so I completed all my postdoc hours. Everything is done, but until I pass my EPPP, I can't get employment. So I'm looking at the positive being that they put the stent in, I'm good, but I need to figure out how to fund and how to eliminate my student loan debt.
Well, first off, glad the surgery was a success. Glad you're feeling better. That's most important.
Yes.
Now, as far as the student loans, this actually might be a good time to look into discharging the student loans through Chapter 7. And in California, there are some great attorneys that are doing fantastic work. And with the medical issues, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for hardships.
Yes.
And obviously, this is a significant hardship to you. You're unable to work, so you're unable to pay your student loans.
Correct.
Now, another thing they're going to look into is whether this is just short-term or there's going to be long-term as well. So be prepared to have the information. And obviously, you're a doctor, so you'll be able to speak on this better than most about what the long-term hardships are going to be and why you're unable to pay these student loans back. And you might be a great candidate to try to get those discharged. If not, your fallback plan will be to get into the income-driven repayment programs. But you also might want to look into the public service loan forgiveness, which is over 10 years worth of payments if you work for a public facility.
Right. But again, I would have to be working. And so that eliminates me from that program. I already did that work. That's why I'm on this line, because I need to hear your expertise. I could do the basic research. What's the long-term process for me?
Yeah. So the one thing you haven't looked into is that student loan adversary proceeding, or as we call it, a SLAP. I would talk to a bankruptcy attorney with the hardships that you have. I'd see if you are eligible for the discharge.
I need your personal hookup. Who do you know here in California that can help me? That's what I want to know.
What part of Cali?
I'm in the Valley, right by Sacramento. I've been trying to knock on Newsom's door, but they not letting me in.
Well, he could definitely help you, but since he's not answering, shoot us an email, and I'm going to get you in touch with somebody that's filing student loan adversaries in
Thank
your area.
you. That's what I wanted to hear. Appreciate it. Hi, Tasha. Girl, I'm a wino. I'm not sipping right now, but I will later.
Me either, girl. Me either. I got water and coffee today. So
That
yeah,
part, water, lemon, and cucumber. That's what I'm working on right now.
That's it. Listen, wino don't mean a drunk now.
That part.
Exactly. Well, thank you, and I look forward to hearing what your process is after Chad refers you to one of his colleagues. So
most
yes,
I'll keep in touch.
All right, great.
Have a great one.
Thank you. You too. Okay, so we have a question from the chat. We also have some more people waiting backstage. Guys, click the link if you want to personally ask Chad a question. There's not a such thing as like a dumb question. And he'll definitely provide you with the information and resources that he has, or put you in contact with someone that he knows personally that can help you with your situation. And this is just a kind of a reassurance thing, because we don't have a lot of people advocating for services like this. It's always just kind of taboo or, embarrassing. And we're here to break that stigma. And I love what Chad is doing. And I love what his office represents. And they give you candy while you're handing over your bills that they're going to discharge. I swear to God. It's like, I can't do this. And he's like, here, now, later, here, no, go ahead and go through it. I love it. And I love the dog, too. The dog just...
And we just had Chuckle's 5th birthday too, so
I saw that, and the dog is just it's a therapy dog, and I love that. Did you do that intentional?
Absolutely, yeah. We want people when they come in to feel comfortable, because people think they're losing everything. They're losing their livelihood.
Yeah.
So to put them at ease, to have Chuckles come up to them, and obviously he's the most friendly pup around. It really puts people at ease and realizes that this is a temporary situation that we're going to get fixed. It's
the customer service for me. I love it. I love it all. And like I said, if I could stay in bankruptcy forever, you would be my bankruptcy attorney to do that. I promise you. So listen, hold on real quick. Someone says, Tanya, Disciple said, I've had my student loans for almost 23 years. Most of the time they have been in forbearance or some type of payment plan. When will they go away?
Man, we're getting a lot of student loans. People are struggling with their student loans. So the good news is one of the programs, after 25 years, they're forgiven. Now, the problem is if there was deferment or forbearance in there, you might not get credit for it, depending on how this all shakes out. Because again, this is all in court, because the Biden administration had one way of doing it. Obama administration had a different way. And now obviously the Trump administration is doing a third way. So depending on how this shakes out, you may get credit for the deferment and forbearance. So you might only be 2 years away from these loans being forgiven. So you really want to follow these court cases and follow where they're going. I would guess that they're going to be resolved by the end of the year or first quarter of next year. But that's what I would be looking into if I were you.
So ride it out for 25 years. You don't defer, or you do put them in forbearance. Do you do deferment or forbearance, or no?
So you're not supposed to be in deferment or forbearance. If you lose your job and you have no income, stay in the income-based repayment program, because your payment is zero. And unfortunately, Navient, Sallie Mae, a lot of those companies were giving bad advice. You lose your job, they put you into forbearance, which they shouldn't have. They should have recalculated based on your current income, what your income zero, your payment zero, and then you would have 12 months of zero payment that would count towards loan forgiveness. And that's part of the lawsuit and litigation is, look, Sallie Mae messed up. I didn't mess up. And now it's being held against me. And that would either reset the clock or toll the clock, meaning 25 years turns into 35 years.
Oh, so we just got to finagle that. Oh my gosh. Okay, cool. That's some good information there. I got to call my sister. She got like 250,000.
She must be smart. She must be smart.
Anybody with $250,000 in loans is not smart to me. I'm just sorry. I love my sister to death, but I just...
Maybe smart with other things other than finances.
Well, she ain't using none of the degrees. She's a real estate appraiser now.
All right. Maybe she's a really nice person. Maybe she's
Exactly.
a really nice person.
I'm just gonna say it. See, you trying to be now? I'm just gonna say it.
I need some of my wine now. I can't with you, Tasha.
All right, real cool. We got another guest waiting backstage. Huh? Ashley, where you calling from? You gotta unmute yourself. Hey, Ashley.
Hello?
Hey, Ashley, where you calling from?
Jacksonville, Florida.
Shout out to Jacksonville, Florida. So Chad can service you right away. What's going on, girl? What's going on with you? Let's get it solved.
Okay. So recently my husband lost his job in January, and I just was told that I'm about to lose my job.
I'm sorry.
So I've been really thinking about filing bankruptcy, but I'm just kind of scared to file it because I have like a government security clearance, and I don't want to lose my clearance. So my question is, should I file bankruptcy if I have a government clearance?
So I deal with government clearances quite often, and obviously they don't just give the information out to people for obvious reasons. What I've been told is if you have to choose between defaulting on debt and getting judgments and lawsuits against you or filing bankruptcy, bankruptcy is the much better way to go because you're less of a risk of being compromised. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because
yes.
if your bank accounts are being garnished, your wages are being garnished, if all of that is outstanding and not dealt with like through a bankruptcy, then, and especially in today's age where people are going to want access to people with clearance, they'd rather you deal with the money issue already, have that taken care of, and you have a better chance of it not impacting your clearance. I have filed hundreds, if not thousands, of people with different levels of clearance. The key is be honest about what you're dealing with. Have your 60-second elevator speech on what happened, and it should not impact your clearance. And actually, the government cannot discriminate based on bankruptcy. That is written into the law. However, if they think you're going to become compromised because of debt issues, that's when it can cause an issue. You're in Jacksonville. You're in my state. I love working up in Jacksonville. Really good people up there. I'm happy to sit with you one-on-one and go through all the details.
Okay, thank you so much.
I want to add to that.
Go ahead.
Is most of your debt accumulated with your husband?
No.
Damn it.
We have credit card debt. Like, I really just want to get rid of our credit card debt. I know we're up to like 30,000 in credit card debt.
Okay.
We have a house. I have a car. So I was really thinking about doing it. I'm just really nervous because it's bankruptcy. I know you say go ahead and do it, but it's bankruptcy and I'm really nervous about doing it.
But I'm the finagle queen now. Okay. So Chad can't finagle like this because he got a license, right? I ain't got no license. So I'm gonna ask you personally, okay?
Yes.
Is the credit card debt under both of y'all name?
One of them is like for like 14,000. Well, actually we had did the piggy bank method, so we have two credit cards, but we did recently take each other's names off of the big credit card. So now we're kind of like he has one. You see what I'm saying? Like he has one. Yeah, we took each other off because like he couldn't make his payments and he didn't want it to affect me.
No.
So
listen. Yeah. Let me tell you what my husband and I do. Chad, you mind if I just 2 seconds? We got some people and we got questions and stuff. Yeah.
Should I not listen or
close your ears? All right. Put everything on him. Okay. Because one of y'all are going to go, not both of y'all, one of y'all are going to go into bankruptcy. And it's best, I feel like, because you do have a government clearance, that he goes into the bankruptcy. If you get most of the debt up under him, you only have a little bit to pay off. So if you do, and I hope you don't lose your job, but it's a lot easier to tackle that debt or add him to that debt and then let him file bankruptcy, and all of it is going to be transferred under him. It's sort of like what happened with my truck situation, Chad. So even though my husband and I were both on a truck, being that I filed bankruptcy, they put the truck in bankruptcy, which benefited both of us, even though he was a co-signer on the truck, but it doesn't show that he's in bankruptcy. So his credit is free.
Okay. Got
Look,
it.
Chad don't want nothing to do with it. Look, but I'm just trying to tell you, this is how you could do it. So if you, put yourself, I ain't no lawyer. I'm just Tasha. This is not the thoughts and opinions of Chad. Okay?
Okay.
What I'm telling you is figure out a way to get him back on those loans, let him file the bankruptcy, and then your credit be good so that y'all can continue to reestablish and grow and build.
Okay.
We always put in our family, one person got to take the debt and we live off of the person who makes the least amount of money, so that if in the event somebody does lose a job, guess what? Our bills are not based on the higher amount of debt. It's based on, the higher amount of income is based on the lower amount of income. So me and Sheck always was able to get out here and restart real fast because guess what? We were living off of the lower amount of income.
Okay. Got
Okay.
it. Yes.
All right. Those
Thank
are not
you.
the opinions of Chad. But call Chad.
Yeah, we'll get it worked out. We'll get it
Ashley.
worked out, Ashley.
And no one knows who you are, so which is good, right? It's just your
Yes.
name.
Yes.
So when you get it worked out, you hit Chad and then let Chatty Zaddy fix that shit.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Cool. No problem. All right. So we got a few people waiting backstage, right? Hold that thought. Please hit the link, guys, if you have a question for Chad. He's here. I'm here as just a backup co-host. It's really his show, but sometimes I'll be like, wait. All right. So we have a question about settlement and bankruptcy. Tasha, she says, hi, Tasha K. I would like to remain anonymous. This question is for you. I was in you, Chad. She said, I was in a car accident last year and I'm getting very close to receiving my settlement check within about 2 or 3 months. It could be longer. I've been thinking about filing bankruptcy for a long time now and feel that I can't wait any longer. I would like to know if I should just wait it out or move forward with bankruptcy. Can bankruptcy interfere with my settlement?
Yeah, so bankruptcy can and will interfere with your settlement. If you file a Chapter 7, the trustee actually becomes the decision maker whether to settle or not. If you file a Chapter 13, you'll still have some rights to it. So if you have to file a bankruptcy because there's garnishments or other things that are happening and you need the protection, file the Chapter 13, and that'll buy you enough time to get that 2 or 3 months or longer to figure out how much money is going to come in. We see this all the time. Certain states have exemptions as well for settlements. So you really got to go to a bankruptcy attorney, and it's state specific to whether you can exempt the money that's coming from that and how much you can exempt.
That was a good damn question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Very good
it just depends on what state she's in. The settlement may be exempt.
Correct.
Okay. Or she could put the settlement in somebody else's name.
No.
I'm just asking. I'm being bad, y'all.
Jeez.
I'm like I am truly an everyday person, right? I am the finagler. Like, what can I bend without going to jail? You know what I'm saying? Like, and Chad's a good guy. You're like, it's good cop, bad cop. All right, cool. Another bankruptcy question real quick. Please, guys, email me if you want to ask Chad your question. Everything's anonymous here, so you don't have to show your face. You see, we're only showing your voice and give your first name, okay? How soon after can I buy a house after I file bankruptcy and keep my home? Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I read that wrong. How soon after I buy a house can I file bankruptcy and keep my home? Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
So that's a great question as well. Part of it depends on how much you're putting down on the home. If you put money into a homestead, the homestead protection, especially in Florida, is great. But it's limited until you own the house for about 3.5 years. So if you have more than $200,000 worth of equity in the home in that 3.5 years, you're limited to that equity. If you took a big down payment, $50,000, and threw it into a homestead to try to protect it, you actually would have to wait a few years to file, or the trustee could try to go after that money, especially if you're insolvent at the time. So bankruptcy planning is much better when you don't have debt. What we see a lot of is people try to bankruptcy plan after they're already being sued, after they get a judgment against. And at that point, those are considered fraudulent or avoidable transfers. So if you have no debt and you bought a house and then all of a sudden you get debt, that would be okay. But if you have a bunch of debt and you're putting money into homestead to try to hide it, that's not going to work out.
Okay. That was a good answer. Good detailed answer. Okay. Who do we have waiting? Natasha, hey girl, the last of our
Hey,
names.
yes. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, we the last of the Tashas, okay?
Yes,
All
we
right.
are. That's right.
Where you
Okay.
calling from?
I'm calling from Maryland.
Okay, and what's your question for Chad?
All right, Chad. So I have my bankruptcy discharge papers here with me today, and I
Congratulations.
got discharged. Thank you. Chapter 7, 2021. However, the attorney that I had said absolutely not. I cannot put my student loan in the bankruptcy. Like he didn't even try. And they're federal student loans. I'm a homeschooling stay-at-home mom of 2 minor children. I have zero income. Can I get relief?
Ooh, that is a great question, and I have good news. So a lot of bankruptcy attorneys would give you the answer that no, absolutely not, that they cannot be discharged. But because the Department of Justice changed basically the way that they're processing these, you can actually potentially go back, reopen your Chapter 7, and still file that student loan adversary proceeding. And it's based on your district and your judges in Maryland. We actually have an attorney that works out of Maryland. She's licensed down here, though. Her name's Shireen. Shout out to Shireen. She's fantastic. Handles our 341 meetings. So what I'd like you to do is email me. I want to look into your case. If you just send me that discharge paper or the case number, I can look at the case. I'll run an analysis and I'll let you know if it has a shot, and we can talk about potentially reopening the case and filing that adversary proceeding.
Wow, even from 2021?
Even from 2021.
Damn.
Oh my God. I'm so glad I'm on this call. Tasha, my first time on a live with you. I've been watching you for years, girl. Thank you so much. You're representing us Tashas very well.
Anytime, and congratulations on that discharge too. That's a big feeling. That's a good feeling. So
Yes, it is. All right. So I'm going to
okay.
email you, Chad. Thank you so much. I'll do that today.
All right, Natasha, look forward to it.
Thank you.
All right, no problem. So real quick before we take another video question, we have a question from the chat. Okay. They said Boss Lady Wesley already did a chapter 13 and still owes student loans. How do I dismiss? That's similar to the question that you just answered, right? Same thing.
That's the same thing. If you're still in the payment plan, though, you wouldn't have to reopen the case. You could just file the student loan adversary proceeding. Some courts require you to wait until the end of your 3 to 5 year plan to file the adversary proceeding, but some allow you to do it at the beginning. So that's based on your local court.
Okay, great. And the next question from the chat is, because you can put your questions in the chat, or you can email me unwinewithtashak@gmail.com, and I'll ask Chad for you directly, or you can hit the link that we have floating in the chat as well too. Chad, approximately how much does the student loan adversary proceeding cost? Does it vary from state to state?
So it varies from state to state. What we do is we charge a low amount down, and then we do monthly payments on it. If you do billable hours, which that's traditionally, it's 10 to 20,000. What I'm seeing on an average is anywhere from 3,500 to 7,500. But again, you're looking at monthly payment plans, and we do payment plans of a few $100s a month. And we do a full analysis prior to filing the adversary proceeding, because we don't want to file cases that are going to be unsuccessful.
Okay. All right, great. And last question before we take another video caller. Do you have an OnlyFans, Chad? They asked.
Not yet. We'll see what happens.
I did not make this up. This was
that
in
was
the
not
chat.
a real question.
It was a real question.
Did Shaq send that in, or what happened?
No, the chat. We asked the chat. What? He said this chat have an OnlyFans. Look, Jasmine saw it too. Then she was like, I can't believe you read that. No, we're here, right?
Hey.
They asked you questions. All right. So who's calling, Jasmine? Lisa. What state you calling from, Lisa?
Hi, Tasha. I'm calling from Ohio.
Shout out to Ohio, and shout out to you. What's your question for Chad?
Yes. Hey, Chad. So my question is, I'm considering bankruptcy, but I own 3 homes. So I own 2 outright, and then I have a mortgage on 1. Would they make me sell my 2 homes that I own outright?
So that's a great question. So in a Chapter 7 scenario, the trustee would take control of your non-exempt asset, and it sounds like these are investment properties, and they would sell them. But you could also look into a Chapter 13 or a Chapter 11. That's the reorganization chapter where you keep what you want to keep. So you keep your assets, and then you work out a repayment plan based on a budget, based on what you can afford.
Uh-oh, I
Please.
lost you, Chad.
Okay. What was the last part you heard?
I didn't hear anything. His the screen was black for him.
Oh, wow. Okay. So can you repeat that, Chad? Sorry about that.
Yeah, of course. Lisa, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you good.
All right. Sorry about that. So basically, in a Chapter 7, they would liquidate the properties to pay the creditors. But in a Chapter 13 or Chapter 11, you can keep all of your assets, keep your properties, and then you pay back a portion of the debt based on a budget that's put together. So bankruptcy is still an option. Just don't do a Chapter 7 if you want to keep those properties.
Gotcha. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Good luck to you.
All right.
Thank you.
Lisa, I went through the same thing because they were trying to liquidate my assets, but the Chapter 11 saved my assets, and so we make payment plans. All thanks to Chad.
Also, now, do you guys have a team working in Ohio?
We're right across the border in Pittsburgh right now, but I do have some good friends that are in Ohio that I can refer you to. So shoot me an email on that, and I'll make sure to connect you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Who's our next caller? Kimberly, where you calling from?
I'm calling from Oakland.
Shout out to Oakland, California. What's your question for Chad?
Hey, Chad. So I had some things in collection. So my credit score is at a 600. The only reason why it's at 600 is because I've been paying my car note on time. What do I do about those things that in collections?
How long have they been in collections?
Huh?
How long have they been in collections?
Good question. Like maybe 2023, 2022. Okay.
So there's a couple options you can do here. One, you could reach out and start settling those debts and offering them. I would start with offering 10 to 20%. A lot of these creditors, especially if the debt is a little older, will settle for less if you have that ability. If you say I don't have the ability to settle, then you want to look into your bankruptcy options. So you look into a potential Chapter 7. You'll still most likely be able to keep your car. You'll be able to wipe that out, and then the whole process takes about 3 to 4 months, and your credit will rebuild. It takes about 12 to 18 months to rebuild your credit, and having that car payment on there will actually help it rebuild faster.
How do I file bankruptcy? Sorry, that's a silly question. I don't know.
No dumb question.
Not a silly question at all. So the easiest way is shoot me an email. I'm going to connect you with a local attorney, and they're going to hold your hand, walk you through everything.
Oh, okay. Now, how do we get your email?
It's on the website.
It's on the website. Okay.
VanHornLawGroup.com. VanHornLawGroup.com.
Oh, okay, Van Horn. Okay.
No problem. All righty.
Appreciate you.
Okay. So we have a Ask Chad question through email.
Oh no.
Oh, they hitting you hard today. You didn't expect it to be this, did you? I told you we just promoted it on our live. I think we had 11,000 streaming. And so, yeah, only the serious are here. Okay. All right. So Ask Chad, Chapter 13, bankruptcy discharge, paid out. My husband and I owe less than $10,000 in credit card debts. We do not want to do a bankruptcy plan again. What are our options? Is it worth filing for less than $10,000?
So is it worth filing for less than $10,000? It really depends on how much money you make, because $10,000 to somebody that makes 6 figures might not be much. $10,000 to somebody that's making $20,000 a year, that's a whole bunch. So it really depends on your scenario and your income and how much you can put toward that debt. What I always tell my clients is for about $10,000 worth of debt, you need to be able to commit $500 a month toward that debt to make it go away for settlement to make sense. If you say there's no chance I can work 500, I can only work 100 into my budget, then you're going to want to look at bankruptcy. If you say, you know what, I could swing 500 or 700, 1,000, then settlement is the way to go.
Okay. Would that still, so basically that would be a kind of debt settlement that it still wouldn't be in a bankruptcy?
Yeah, it would just be what we call it is debt negotiation. Some people call it consolidation or whatnot. We help
Okay.
clients negotiate directly with the creditors and settle with them. And for about $10,000 worth of debt, you'll be able to settle for all of the debt for around $500 per month.
Okay, great. Don't forget, guys, my email is open, unwinewithtashak@gmail.com. You can send your question and I'll ask Chad for you if you want to remain anonymous. I know this is a touchy subject. A lot of us are going through financial issues, and, you know, we just want to get you the right answer so that you can become debt-free and stress-free, because it does causes stress. Okay. Real quick, and don't forget, you can put your questions in the chat as well. So who's next? BL, where are you calling from?
Louisiana.
Shout out to Louisiana. Ain't you a regular around here?
I am. This is Be Real.
I thought so. What's going on, girl?
Hey, Chatty Zaddy. How you doing, baby? I know you married.
I'm better now that you're on the phone. I can tell you that.
I love you so much. I love you too, Tasha. I just wanted to ask just a random question. You looking for a dog sitter?
Hey, you're only a 2-hour flight away. Why don't you come down? We'll push you up to Fort Lauderdale, and you can be Chuckles' Chuckles' babysitter for a day.
Oh, okay then. That's all I wanted. I love y'all, winos. Bye bye.
Love you too. I love the random questions. They just it's like being in your office. Like we're talking something serious, and then the dog comes up, and you offer candy, or you say, "Look, guys, look what we did today." Like, man, it's nice. It's nice. I love it. I love my winos. Okay, we got somebody else waiting backstage. Venetia, how you doing? Where are you calling from?
Vanita.
Hey,
Jasmine, tell me your name, baby. How you doing?
Tasha, I've been watching you for 2015.
I love it.
Day one when you used to be in your apartment. I've been watching you for that long.
Actually, it wasn't an apartment, but it should have been, because it was decorated like one on the inside. It was like a 1,200 square foot house. And yeah, we didn't keep no sheets on the bed because I didn't want nobody playing on them sheets in case we had guests coming over. You know, we had to.
And she used to just ask questions. You used to just call in and she would give you advice. It wasn't about celebrities when she first started. But anyway, I got a question for you, Chad.
Yes.
Okay, I got a good question. I am a federal worker. I am a respiratory therapist. I've been in the medical field for over 20 years. I've been out of school over 20 years. I went back to school in 2016, and I still have debt that I've been paying off my student loan for now over 20 years, right?
Damn.
Over 20 years. So now I get a letter from student loan saying that my loan, the IRA won't work, the SAVE program won't work, none of those things won't work. So now I'm waiting for a letter from the current administrator to tell me how much I have to pay now. So I used to pay almost $400 a month. I want to get out of this student loan debt. I want my loan forgiveness. Biden was about to give it to me, and Trump came in the next week and stopped it. I was only, I think, 16 payments away from getting my loan forgiveness.
Wow.
So what do I do? Like, do I file bankruptcy at this time? Like, I'm done with this loan.
No, I get it. And I've seen those letters, and some people got in and got their discharge right before, and some ended up like you. What I would do is I wouldn't file bankruptcy yet. I would wait to see where this ends up, because again, it's going through the courts. There's going to be some sort of resolution, hopefully sooner than later, because there's so many people like you that are just stressed out, fed up, done. But I would wait.
I want to quit my federal job. I'm tired of it, but I can't quit my federal job and get loan forgiveness. Yeah. So I'm trapped here until they say what they're going to do.
I think they're going to do the right thing. And I think that especially with the public service loan forgiveness, I think your loans are going to be forgiven.
Okay, because I'm only 16 payments away from loan forgiveness. Because I'm ready to file. Okay, so the second scenario, I do own a home. If I wanted to just go file bankruptcy, does that mean that my home would be taken away?
Not necessarily. What state did you say you were in again?
Virginia.
Virginia. So what you're going to want to look up is the Virginia homestead exemption. In Florida, it's unlimited, but in some states they limit it to $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 worth of equity. So just you want to look at Virginia homestead exemption and then see how much equity you have in your home and see if
I know how much equity I have in my home.
How much?
So right now I got they say 75,000. Because I never refinanced or nothing since I've been a homeowner. I just pay my bill. That's it.
That's a beautiful thing.
I know they come after me all the time.
Of course, they want you to refinance so you can spend more money.
Right.
But,
so should I refinance and pay my student loan off? I owe $80,000.
No.
Heck no. No, do not do that.
You almost pissed Chad off. Look.
No. Leave your home alone. Leave your home alone.
Right.
So that equity is part of your retirement plan and treat it as such. I would almost bet that the Virginia homestead exemption is more than that 75,000, meaning your home is exempt. I would tough it out. I know things are tough right now. Get to that finish line, and I think you're going to get that public service.
Pay those 16 months off.
I need you to work out those.
Is Trump still giving loan forgiveness, or is he? It's so many. I don't watch news because it's crazy. I don't waste time with watching news. I gave that up after November last year, so I kind of go by hearsay. I don't get into that. I wait for a letter to come. If the letter come and say I got to pay it, I still haven't received any letter to say what to do.
Yeah, so the public service loan forgiveness isn't going anywhere. It may be modified, but it will not be modified to
okay, so we stay.
Yeah, you will be grandfathered in.
Okay.
So just continue down that path. I don't think you need bankruptcy. Definitely do not refinance that house.
Okay.
All right. So you've earned that equity. Keep that, and then just follow through with that public service loan forgiveness.
Okay, I'll stay with public service loan because I'm one of those people that's been doing it for 20 years. I've been working as the government for respiratory. I'm sick of it. I don't want to do respiratory therapy no more.
Well, God bless you, and hopefully you get to retire sooner than later.
All right, Tasha, I'm gonna see you when you come around again. I was trying to see you when you toured.
I got you. No,
I've been watching you for a long time.
2026. I had to stay here on the ground. You know what I'm saying? We building some things, paying off some things, and so when I get on tour again, we're on tour. Okay, and so Chad confirmed me at the top of the year, and I was like, phew, I'm resting.
You was doing a lot, but I've been watching. Just one of the people. I'm quiet. But I'm one of the people that can say I've been watching you for 10 years. She's been doing this for 10 years. I was like your first person that signed up, but I never say nothing. So if you look my name up, I never say nothing.
No, I know you. I see you all the time commenting. I'm like, I know exactly who you are in your initials. Like, so I was like, yeah, you a regular around here.
I never say nothing, but I was calling Chad.
Okay.
Thank
you.
Listen,
that was some good advice he gave you. Remember, guys, all right, the email is open on unwinewithtashak@gmail.com. We also have a video link. We will hide your identity, okay? Or you can hit the question in the chat, okay? And so real quick, before you take another video call, we do have a question. Hold on for a second. Someone says, Chad, collection. How do I get this collection off my credit report? It has taken my FICO down from very good to fair by 125 points, and the collection amount is only $331 and should not have been placed there. If I pay it, I'm told it will still affect my score.
Yep. So first, if it shouldn't be there and it's not a debt that you owe, you should dispute it. And there's a simple letter that you can send where you send it to the credit reporting agencies and you send it to the creditors, and it should fall off within 45 days. If it does not, you actually can hire an attorney that specializes in Fair Credit Reporting Act violations, FCRA. So you can Google that, and they'll help you with that. Also, you can negotiate with the creditor. Hey, I'll give you a couple $100, but you have to take this off, and make sure you get that in writing. And if they don't take it off, then they'd be in breach of the agreement.
Okay. All right, great. Another question from a wino, Ask Chad. Hi, Tasha. She goes, I have several companies suing me for my debt, including debt collectors. Chad knows about the suing. Boy, I got sued bad. Lost bad. Okay. I have several companies suing me for my debt, including debt collectors. I never showed up to the court, and I have 2 judgments so far in favor of those companies. One for $1,200, the other for about $3,500. I have no garnishments yet. That's my ad. Okay. They just want me to pay the amount. I didn't file for bankruptcy because I simply can't afford it. I just had a baby and I'm not currently working, and I stopped making payments because I had my first child 3 years ago, and I had a part-time job. I had to work part-time due to lack of child care. Should I have filed or just pay the debt back eventually? It's about $30,000 total. I just graduated. Now I have student loans as well. What should I do? Chad, that's a loaded question right there. Do you need me to repeat it again for you?
No, I got it all, but
Okay.
she said 1,200 and 3,500. I said, okay, we can settle.
Two
Then I hear
judgments.
30,000.
Yes, exactly.
30,000. You needed to file bankruptcy last year, and there are bankruptcy attorneys that will break down payments for you. If you really need it, there are pro bono attorneys. We're one of the leading pro bono attorneys in the country. File your bankruptcy, start rebuilding your credit, concentrate on your family, concentrate on your babies, forget about the judgments, forget about all this stressful debt. Just file the bankruptcy and everything's going to be better. You will find an attorney you can work with, I promise you.
All right.
Tasha and I will help you find that attorney if you can.
Yes, we will, because you got 2 kids under the age of 3, it looks like, and no, ma'am. No, ma'am. 30,000. You just finished school. You should no. And those judgments, they're not like the judgments I got. The judgment I got was like malicious, so I couldn't. It was like with malice, so it's like I forgot the name of that type of judgment. Good, because it's in my past, but still.
Well, it's called non-dischargeable. So let's move
Right.
on. Yeah, these ones are dischargeable.
Dischargeable. Okay, so those goodbye. Okay, and the fact that they even sent lawyers to court to file.
Sometimes they send the small claims because they're cheaper to file and they're easier to prosecute. They send those first, and then the larger debts will come later because they want to see if it's actually worth spending the money on filing the lawsuits. So that sometimes they'll move forward with the small claims, which are much cheaper to prosecute.
Basically trying to scare you into paying it.
Correct. And then they get the information from you, and then they share it with their buddies, and all the debt collectors work together.
Oh. Okay. All right, cool. Yes. So chapter 7 would probably be best for her.
Chapter 7 is the way to go.
Okay. All right, great. Good question. All right. Who do we have waiting backstage? She just hung up? Okay, so we don't have anybody else waiting. Look like we who do we have in the chat? Let's look at the chat. Guys, the video link is open. You can actually email me as well, unwinewithtashak@gmail.com. The question comes right to my email to ask Chad anything in regards to your financial issues and things like that. Let me go to the chat. Chad, give me 1 second. It's a good question. Does credit exist in other countries?
It's a great question. The short answer is yes, but not to the extent of the United States. And there still are countries out there that do not do credit and still have debtors' prisons. So if you take out credit, don't pay it back, you actually go to jail. So the United States is number 1 as far as credit card debt and debt in general. It's really how we built our country. As you can see, the country's trillions in debt.
Wow. Another question for you. How many times can you file chapter 7?
So you can file as many times as the court will allow you, but you can only get a discharge in chapter 7 once every 8 years.
Okay. Wow. How does that work? Like, what do you mean you could file so you could have like 4 chapter 7s, but you only could get one of them discharged every 7 years. So you can file as much as you want.
Yeah, you can file as much as you want until the court tells you to stop. What we see many people do is they'll file a bunch of chapter 13s usually to buy themselves time from eviction, foreclosure, repossession. case gets dismissed, they'll file another one, case gets dismissed, and then eventually the court just says, okay, you're done. You can't file anymore.
So people do bleed it.
Oh my, and people do a ping pong method where they'll have like their family members file, but they'll be on the house as well. And back in the Great Recession, I saw there were 40 filings in one household that literally bought them 10 years in the house.
With no payment.
With no payment. Yeah, it was insane. I thought the judge was going to put people in jail because of it. It got so bad at one point.
That's actually pretty gangster.
It certainly
I like that. See, and you should see you know what? And it's so funny because all I hear when I'm doing shows with you about this is like, why would you tell people to file bankruptcy? That's so bad. And it's like, first of all, bankruptcy causes health problems, heart problems, high blood pressure, and then you can't start over. So it's like it makes you feel like life is over when you have debt. So bankruptcy cures all that. So, and I hope I said that right because you know I've been on coffee all day. But like, why would we not?
Yeah, because people put debt in front of their own well-being. I mean, I see it all the time. Their credit score before their family. I mean, it's unbelievable, but it's how we're raised and it's what we're conditioned to do. You got to look out for yourself at the end of the day. I mean, Bank of America, Amex, all these companies are going to be just fine. I promise you.
Yeah, they will.
And you're going to be just fine once you get this resolved. And if it's going through bankruptcy, which is best for you, do it, get it behind you, and then move forward.
They're going to do well because they got government contracts.
That's for sure.
They got government contracts. If you file bankruptcy, how long do you have to wait to start a business or get a business loan?
0 days to start a business. Literally the day after you file bankruptcy, you can start a business. To get a business loan, if it's a small business, they're going to base it on your credit. So you're probably looking at about 6 to 12 months before you qualify for a business loan.
Okay. And I always highly recommend get a secure credit card. Discover needs to pay me because they helped me rebuild my credit numerous of times after situations. And you can start with the $200 secured amount, get some gas on it, pay it off before the due date. Don't pay the minimum balance, pay the whole balance. Within 3 months, they'll upgrade it to an unsecured credit card and they will increase you every 6 months if you continue with that method. So shout out to Discover. I need to get them to sponsor the show. Listen. Okay. Who's waiting backstage? CC, where you calling from?
Hi, Tasha. Hi.
Hey. Oh, you went out, CC. Come back on in. Who's next? Her other one's not Mike. You got to connect your mic, guys. It looks like we're losing Mike. Okay. Wine and Unwind says, Chad, I have emailed. Am I emailing the wrong email or something? What's your company email?
I just tell people email me directly, chad@cvhlawgroup.com. And I'll handle it.
Damn. I will never.
You know?
I'll be like, why would Tasha get gmail.com? Like Chad he really serious about y'all. He love y'all like that. I don't. I just can't even have my email loaded up like that. Okay, Chad@cvhlawgroup.com.
That comes directly to me.
Okay. All right, Cece is back. Hi, Cece. Where you calling from?
Hi, Tasha. Hi, Chad. I'm calling from Baltimore, Maryland.
Okay. Shout out to Baltimore. What's your question for Chad?
So, Chad, I have a eviction on my credit from another state, and I'm currently looking for housing in Baltimore. It's been a problem because I keep getting denied. Do you think I should wait until I find a home to file for bankruptcy, or should I just keep trying with the credit that I have?
That's a tough question. Do you have any other debt as well?
Yeah, I have credit card debt, my student loan debt, and then I have a lot of things in collections.
Yeah, I would file the bankruptcy, and that's going to actually make your credit better in that scenario. If you only had the eviction, I would say don't file bankruptcy. But since you have multiple things that you need to clean up, file the bankruptcy. That's going to fix your credit, and that's going to make it easier for you to find a place.
Okay. So, will the eviction still show up on my report?
It should not still show up on your report. Now, in the technology age and information age, there may be ways for landlords to find it, but it should not show up on your credit report.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
How long let me get in here. These are not the opinions of Chad. This is Tasha K. Chad has nothing to do with this. All right, close your ears, Chad. When did the eviction take place?
I had moved to Houston just trying to get away in 2020 4 no
Okay.
2023.
How much is the eviction for?
$10K.
Damn.
It's a brand new apartment.
You could do this. You could write the credit bureaus and challenge it, saying it's not yours. And then they got to prove that it's yours. And if they don't, guess what? It comes off your credit report.
But I went to court for it, Tasha.
As I said.
Okay.
if they delete it, it's kind of like, what do you have to lose by sending a letter to them or even calling them and challenging it? Like,
I tried that with my student
if they
loan.
delete it, but then the landlord re-puts it back on there, boom, you already qualified for an apartment or bought a house, F it. But $10K is a lot. So if I were you, I would either do that, but I would look into a bankruptcy too, and just, an attorney like Chad that would take a pro bono case and basically Chapter 7 you so that it's gone.
That would be amazing, because I really need to get into an apartment, because I've been doing Airbnb and it's freaking expensive.
It is. Yep.
But you have some landlords that don't look at credit.
Yeah, I've been trying to find some. I had a lady I was working with, but she gave me the runaround for 2 weeks. And on top of that, she was charging to view each property.
Oh, that's a scam.
Yeah, I talked about it on TikTok.
Yeah,
she's charging $30 to view each property.
Wow.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. Innovative. If I was a real estate agent and people are serious about buying a house, I'd be like, for my time and my gas.
That's wild.
You want me to open up this house? $30. All right, cool. We got some questions from the chat real quick. Hold on for a second. What if your assets are in a trust and you file bankruptcy?
So it depends how the trust is set up. If you control the trust, if it's a self-settled trust, generally speaking, that means non-exempt, the creditors can get to it. But most trusts are set up where they would be exempt, meaning they can't be touched. So if it was set up properly, it should be exempt from creditors and not touched in the bankruptcy. Okay.
Anybody else waiting backstage? Looks like we have a clean. Let me make sure we answered all the questions in the email. We may have a clean ending. Oh, we got a question in the email. Chad, I filed bankruptcy in 2019 and was told that I cannot file until 2028. Is that true? I have applied second because the first time was the law firm fault. She got to be a little bit. Can you read? I know she's watching. Who just sent this question in about this? Can you resend another email explaining this, or Chad, are you able to kind of grasp?
No, I think I understood what happened. So you can file another bankruptcy. Again, it's 8 years between discharges. So if you got a discharge in 2019, it'd be 2027 before you get another Chapter 7 discharge. But you would be eligible for a Chapter 13 bankruptcy now, since it's been longer than 4 years. So you could look at the Chapter 13, or you could wait the 8 years to 2027 to file a Chapter 7.
Okay, great. I'm glad you were able, because I'm like, what is this? Okay, last question. Somebody just called in. All right, so last question. Then we're going to go ahead and let Chad get back to taking calls, helping people to clean their credit reports up. Who's calling? What's the name? Andrea, where are you calling from?
Buffalo, New York.
How you doing? Shout out to Buffalo. What's your question for Chad? Hey, what's your question for Chad?
So I'm currently going through chapter 7 myself. I just started it last week.
Congratulations.
Thank you. My question is, I didn't add my husband to the bankruptcy, and he owes back child support, and he has a restricted license. Should he file his own bankruptcy, or how does that work?
No, it could be a joint Chapter 7 if that's what you're doing. Unfortunately, the child support will not be impacted by that. That has to go back to the state court or family court that ordered that to be able to modify it. But if there's other debts that he can discharge, you could still do the Chapter 7, and it would not impact your Chapter 7 bankruptcy.
Okay. And what about the license?
So the same thing with the license. If it's a restricted license because of child support, that would have to go back to the family court to decide how to get that lifted.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck.
All right. Thanks. I appreciate it. Thanks, Tasha.
About it, girl. You know, like, yeah, you finna be debt free.
Yeah, my husband been going through this for the kids is older. No, they ain't even kids. We have grandkids, so it's crazy.
So he owes back child support?
Yes, it's back child support.
How much? Do you know?
It went up to $27,000. And she didn't even take care of the kids. We did. So that's why he feels some type of way about it.
Is there some type of way you could get around that if you had proof that, you know, even though there was a child support court order in, Chad, that...
So the bankruptcy court, as you can imagine, the bankruptcy court doesn't want to deal with any family issues. So what they always do is they kick it back to the state court because they just don't want to deal with it. So unfortunately, the bankruptcy court really can't do anything. If the restricted license really was the issue, you could still do a Chapter 7, and then your husband may be able to do a Chapter 13, which puts that into a payment plan, and that may get you out of that restricted license. What should happen, and I understand family court's a different world, and that's why I don't set foot in there, is you go back to the family court, you explain what happens, and hopefully some reasonable settlement comes from it. But it sounds like you already looked down that alley, and it just didn't work.
Right.
So if he was, I'm gonna be honest with you, I know it's probably gonna be hard to talk to him, but it's like, it's a big weight off of his shoulder. And I have a colleague of mine who has some of the same issues that I just kind of want to share. And he was a bit nervous about calling the child support office and things like that. But I think he owed around like 40-something thousand, if I'm not mistaken. And surprisingly, because he didn't have a passport or anything like that, in order to get his passport, they just needed $2,000 down and I think what they call like a garnishment of $200 a month. And he could take as long as he wants with that. They just want something. You see what I'm saying? So like, you may come out better doing a Chapter 13 will stop them from like adding interest or anything like that. If he were to do a Chapter 13 and just throw the loans in there, but I mean a 5-year payment plan, and you can extend the payment plan, right, Chad, under a Chapter 13. So if he needs more than 5 years, he could extend it, right?
Potentially. I don't love a Chapter 13 for this because it seems like there should be an alternative. If there was other debt, I would get it. But
okay,
if that's what needs to happen, then that's what needs to happen. It sounds like he doesn't want to pay anything because he already paid for the kids. It's already done, which I get. And that's where it's getting into some sort of mediation or getting in front of a judge that can actually make more of a difference other than the bankruptcy court saying, okay, now you have to do this payment plan. So it's a good fallback, but I'm hopeful that there's another answer and maybe some sort of mediator can bring the sides together. But I know how emotional that can be.
I'm definitely going to talk to him about it. I've been trying because the only thing he have on his credit report is the child support.
So I would avoid bankruptcy altogether if he could. This is as a last resort, yes, but try everything else, including some sort of mediation or court-ordered mediation, just to work through it.
Okay. And can I jump in real quick? And that's how you know Chad ain't shiesty. Here I am trying to push the bankruptcy, right? He's like, Like I said, my colleague, like, his payments are $200 a month on $45,000. So with half of that, your husband just may be paying $100 a month towards the debt with some significant amount of down payment, probably like $1,000.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Yeah, and then they'll release his license too. They'll give it to him. They just want to see that you're making payments. Does he work?
No, he currently got he disabled right now. He got shot in his hand.
Oh wow.
And,
Okay.
yeah.
And see, that may be something. So Chaz, he's the big boss here. You know what I'm saying? I'm the finagler. But yeah, I agree with Chad. You should probably work that out in family court, especially if he's on disability. They'll consider that as well. And as long as he's able to pay something, they'll undo the licenses when you just ignore it and don't do anything.
Okay.
All right.
All right. I'm playing this back for him so he can listen.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you, Chad.
We crushed it today.
No,
I'm
you
feeling good.
I ain't do nothing.
Nah, it's team effort.
I don't ever be able to answer these questions. I just know from the finagle part of it, like what I'm always reading on laws and stuff, asking. I will interview a lawyer down. Chad knows me. I'm like, Chad, we gotta go on call now. Now. He's like, oh Lord. I drove you crazy, didn't I, during my process? Like,
you always do, but I love it. I'm signed up for it. I love it.
Number one bankruptcy attorney in South Florida, guys, Chad Van Horn. We are going to cut up each and every one of these questions and deploy them across all of our social media platforms so that everybody can get this information. Guys, please call Chad, all right? I don't care if you're in another state, call him. He'll refer you 954-637-0000, okay? Or you can email him at Chad at
CVHlawgroup.com.
All right. And again, let's go ahead and clear out this debt. Chad, anything you want to take us home with?
I just want to say thank you to the winos for being so great to me. It's been a few weeks. I did not forget about you.
Yes.
And Tasha, you are the best host. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And it was really my fault as to why Chad wasn't here. I had some scheduling conflicts. So he's always ready to go. And so, Chad, you'll be back next week.
Can't wait.
Same time. All right. Thank you so much. Shout out to the Van Horn Law Group and to everyone that you have helped. Okay. And shout out to all the winos that have just filed. And shout out to all the winos that will file because of this live. Okay. Thank you. It's always a pleasure to have you. We're going to go ahead and sign off with your commercial. Jasmine, you got his commercial? Can we upload that real quick? Yes. We're going to sign you off with your commercial, Chad. Now, let me know when I can go, Jasmine. Hold on. Let me see. We may have another question in the chat. Let me see. Hold on. Oh, well, he got it. So she got it. She has it. All right. And so now we got to go. We're going to let Chad take you home. Bye.
Student loan discharges in bankruptcy. Most people will tell you it's impossible. Even bankruptcy attorneys will tell you that. But guess what? We just got 2 discharged a few weeks ago, and we're going to get a lot more. So if you're struggling with your student loans, you may be able to discharge those through bankruptcy. So you should just give me a call and let's figure it out.